as greetings for my listen.
Oh, sorry, I just
Okay.
clicked that. What did you say?
I said, um, so I would say something to the listeners. So, hi, listeners. Thanks for joining my MickeySdt podcast. And today I have a special guest, Gabriela, and she will introduce herself.
Mhm,
So, the story is that I met her in a park in Madrid when I was walking around with
mhm,
my friend Iris. So,
mhm,
welcome and please introduce yourself. And thanks for joining, actually, and taking the time to do this with me.
mhm. Okay, thank you, Michael. I am very pleased to be with you in this afternoon. It's a real pleasure, and I am very happy that we happen to meet by coincidence. Um, I I will introduce myself. I am Gabriela. I come from Spain, from Malaga in concrete. Um, and well, being born there, which is a city full of light by the sea, I have always been captivated by this, by forms, light shifts, colors, and this attraction has blossomed in me into a passion for artistic creation. Um, I also love literature, music, and traveling, and this has enriched my inner world and shaped my creative landscape. And this is why I I am guided by the pursuit of the extraordinary and the authentic uh, when composing original artwork. Um, for me, this is very special also because it means following my family tradition. My great great grandfather uh, and my great grandfather uncle were great artists in the 20th century in Spain. Their names are Francisco Palma Garcia and Francisco Palma Burgos, and both of them did some of the most beautiful and most iconic Holy Week sculptures that are very famous nowadays. For example, La Piedad, that is procession every year in Malaga, and even more famous, the Christ of the Good Death, or El Cristo de la Buena Muerte, that is accompanied by the Legion Corps every year in Malaga on the Holy Thursday. And well, this Christ was done by my great grandfather uncle, Francisco Palma Burgos. So it's very special for me to be continuing this tradition. For the moment, I have not done so much on sculpture or on religious images, but I have been more focused on landscapes. Um, Over time, I wish to do other things, also more portraits, and well, maybe why not do a bit more of what has been the tradition in the family of religious images. So, yes, this is a bit of a long introduction, but
No, no, no. Great. We all want to hear this. So, but now I have a actually a kind of maybe silly question. So you said one of your in the family artists had the last name Garcia.
Mhm,
So my understanding, the last name Garcia is well. There are a lot of Garcias, even in
mhm.
Spain and even in Latin America. So can you elaborate a little bit on this? So because it's for me, and I ask you why, because my last name is Schmidt, and that's also a very
Mhm,
common name around the world. So
mhm. Yes, well, it's true. It's a very common name, but I think the name doesn't make the person, or in this case, the artist and the artistic talent. And well, the truth is that Francisco Palma Garcia, so there are two surnames, is my great great grandfather, and he was a great artist. He came from a a humble background, but his talent was so great that he was sponsored by a particular mecenas that well paid for his studies, and he was actually in the best artistic academy in Madrid, and well, he was a well-renowned painter and sculptor at his time. So I
Okay.
guess in this case, it's more the work and the talent that makes the name, and not the other way around.
Okay, you mentioned mecenas. What's the meaning? Because I don't know what that means. Mecenas means
A mecenas
sponsors or
is a person, yeah, with lots of financial possibilities
oh, okay.
who wants to support an artist on their studies and on their creation, so they have economical means for that.
Okay, I mean, in 100 years ago, artists was all dependent on mecenas. If you use this
Totally.
word, right?
Yeah,
Everyone.
exactly.
I mean, so that was in the old time. I mean, nowadays, how you see this in nowadays? Like you, if you have a second job, maybe you can elaborate, or you have a job, can elaborate on that, but your passion is painting.
Exactly.
So, I mean, and I, before you answer, I see a lot of people who have a passion for the art, but they can't live from it.
Mhm.
So then they have to do something else to make a living, correct?
Exactly. Yes, I think indeed that's a strong hindrance. And um, well, I don't know if before it was better than now. Um, I think definitely today there are fewer uh, very rich people, maybe, who can act as a mecenas because, well, the society, thankfully, is more equal in terms of economic possibilities. So before, the rich were richer and the poor were poorer, and nowadays is a bit less like this. Uh, but yeah, in the capitalistic market is very difficult to make a living out of art. So I think, of course, there are possibilities, and I think there are sponsorships and programs and scholarships. Um, but having a financial stability is very difficult, and I think many people like me have to need to have another job to support themselves.
Right, but how you manage this? Do you have your job that needs some time, and then you have your passion, the art, paintings? So it's just that you feel it would be nice ever have more time for the art, and I can go more in my passion. How you feel about this?
Yeah, this is definitely not easy, and I have had hard time in many occasions with this precise question. Um, it's difficult when you feel you are divided, no, between what you want to do and you feel you need to do, and knowing this is not something you can do full time because of the economic situation. So it feels difficult. At the same time, uh, I consider myself very fortunate because I have a job that is flexible enough to allow for part-time work. And it's a job that I like, and that doesn't, it takes me energy, but not too much. And it's very interesting. Also, it's motivating, although it's something very different from the artistic world. Um,
Right.
so I feel fortunate I have this, although of course I would love to live only from art because I could dedicate my full time and energy to it.
Yeah, I mean, another thing in our days now, you have more possibilities to actually showcase what you're doing. I mean,
Hmm.
that was before maybe not the case with digital media or social media. I mean, what you're doing, you have a website, you have your Instagram or maybe other social medias.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually tell the world, here's Gabriela, this is my work. So you have the more chance to reach potential buyers for your paintings, right?
Exactly. That's a very big plus we have nowadays, and I definitely make use of it, and I am sure many other artists do it. Um, yeah, it's very helpful, and I think knowing how to show yourself and your work is really important. Um, I think this opens many doors, but still the question of living only of the art, even if you have strong social media, uh, remains challenging. I think
Right.
it's an advantage, but it doesn't solve everything. So yeah.
And I hope with doing this, we can reach out for more people who are interested in your art. I hope it very much because this is how I see my podcast to give artists a chance to talk about it. And then, I mean, I can tell the story that I did a shoot of a blues artist in Madrid on the street. He played for me, and
Mhm.
we talked about his blues and his tattoos. And then he was a couple of weeks later in RTVE, and he had a radio session. So, I
Ah,
mean,
fantastic. Yeah, that's very nice.
so
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
hope so.
maybe maybe it has not so much to do with me, but I am really passionate about help artists. I see myself as an artist.
Mhm.
I mean, my podcast is for me, yeah, a kind of art because
Your
I'm
creation.
doing. Yes, I mean, I'm writing now also. I write for a long time, but I'm writing now a book about my life, the last 7 years. And
Mhm.
Madrid and Barcelona will be the
Ah,
center, well,
nice.
because it's happened so much, and also I met so much interesting stories.
Mhm.
Uh, no, into much people with interesting stories.
Mhm.
So I want to tell this, and even every podcast I will convert to a text file and put it somehow
Ah,
in.
amazing. Yeah, that's
So, and
amazing.
a passion that I was involved in volunteer work for the homeless people in Barcelona.
Mhm.
And this is also an interesting story that Madrid is also very generous for this scene. And even Richard Gere made a movie and has an organization right now who want to help this. And I got involved in Barcelona, actually active in here only meeting people, finding out who's serving what. So this
Mhm.
is a, like um, when I say I'm I'm very passionate about social impact, and also I have my technology background, working in artificial intelligence, and it's also social impact to
Mhm.
use technology to help the people, right? So
Exactly.
while we mentioned artificial intelligence, did you ever figure out that some artists you may know using also for painting artificial intelligence, or I mean, you doing this really with the old style. You paint that on this color and with
Yes.
a, but I mean, but others creating digital stuff, and I mean, it's now these days so easy to, yeah, you just tell them these programs what you do, and they create something out of nothing. So it's, did you
Mhm.
ever, are you, first of all, are you interested in this, and what's your opinion about this?
Mhm. So I am aware that there are, well, I don't know if to call it artists, but there are people who use artificial
Yes,
intelligence
that's good.
to
Yeah.
create art. I find it, I mean, I am interested in principle about anything, so I do find it interesting. Uh, of course, that this possibility exists, and I find it's quite amazing actually. Um, Personally, I wouldn't do it because I find a pleasure in doing something myself with my hands that reflects my thoughts, my inner life. And I think this is only possible if I do something myself without any digital help, so to say.
Yes.
And I do find a higher, and this is a very personal opinion, I do find a higher value in something that is produced by a person who has own life experience, who have suffered, who have had moments of joy, who are moved by different things. I think this has a soul, and what is created with artificial intelligence, even if it can be aesthetically beautiful or interesting from different perspectives, it will never have a soul because it doesn't correspond to
Right.
a person with real experiences and sufferings and yes. So this is my opinion.
Yeah, thanks for sharing this. Now I want to talk about the creative process. So you mentioned your inner world, and I'll try to understand it. And I want to compare it with me. So I'm
Mhm,
also a photographer and videographer. I mean, this is more capture the moment. And if you see, photography is actually digital painting, if you mean about it, because before there were no photo what existed, the people standing in the street and
mhm,
painting the church, right?
mhm,
Now these days you go and make a picture, right?
yeah,
Or a portrait, right? So
mhm,
you go in the studio and make a picture of someone, or
mhm,
you paint them, right? So
mhm,
it's digital painting.
mhm,
But I do also writing, and I wrote lyrics and poems, but
mhm,
it's captured when I write. Like I wrote something today. Let's share this.
mhm,
Then I experienced something, and I had to write it down only
mhm,
for at first for myself, right?
mhm,
So it was, I wanted to tell the story. I want to capture the story. It's like I see a nice rainbow, double rainbow or triple rainbow. I just want to make that picture
mhm.
because to just capture the moment.
Yeah.
So when you make paintings, and
Mhm,
maybe sometimes they ask you to paint something, but when you do it out of your own world, then
mhm.
is it similar. Can you explain this?
Actually, yes, that's true. For me, especially when I am very moved by a particular landscape or a shift in the light or I don't know, movement or a scene, and this is uh, speaking to me very deeply or very interiorly, and especially when this coincides with a um, personal event that uh, touches my heart in some form. I usually feel a very strong desire to um, give this form and express what I have in my heart, and I do this through art.
So you call it a self-expression, that you capture a moment and then you want to express what you feel in
Mhm.
your painting or in your creative work.
Exactly. So usually it's a combination maybe of two things. One is the aesthetic beauty, no, of a particular scenery or landscape, uh, plus my plus what this concretely tells to my soul in this moment that I'm living.
So now I have to ask you, you mentioned soul and heart.
Mhm.
So what is it actually? Both, or it's just more your inner world, and that's what you call a soul and a heart?
Um,
You said what you see a scene and it touches you, but it's that your feelings, but you mentioned also soul and heart.
that's a very, very, very interesting question. Um, and maybe almost philosophical.
Okay, sorry that me.
For me, I don't know. I don't know if I can explain it correctly. They the heart maybe is the realm of not only feelings, but also intuition. And sometimes I think you can know if something is true or not, if a situation gives you a peace or the contrary, or joy or the contrary. And this is something that you cannot just think in your mind, but that it comes as a reality that, yeah, that's that is of the heart. It's not of the rational, but it's more of the emotional, and it's linked to the soul. I think the heart probably is where you feel, and the soul is where you kind of process these feelings, and can also think about them or produce something that is linked to what you have already felt in your heart. It's a bit complicated, but
Yeah, no,
ask
but
me,
it's great.
it's
It's
how I
great.
see it.
I mean, I think everyone has maybe their own explanation to this, right? So
Yes.
that's why I was interested
Yeah, this is
to
what I
hear
come
this
up
from.
with in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, again, and I had a podcast with someone who wrote a book,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also a life coach now, and that's the guy I'm meeting later also today.
Mm-hmm.
But he had also a career as an engineer. Then he switched to this,
Mm-hmm.
and so I mean, yeah, he. Some people feel a passion for to do something,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, again, for me, when I started it, I was a teenager, and I wrote it at that time in German,
Mm-hmm.
switched later to English. For me, was this really I experienced so much because, and I couldn't process it, so I had to write it down. Just that was my way to process it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had also ideas to write about something, and so that's how it's for me started. And maybe you're doing now landscape, but if you would do something abstract, then you could say this is my feeling, and now I put it in a painting, right? This is how I feel now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, it could be a possibility, and I understand why some artists do this. Personally, and I don't know, maybe over time I changed my perspective. Um, I think that there is a beauty that already exists in nature, and I don't think I need to be inventing something very strange to convey that feeling of beauty, or even what I have in my heart. I think for me, because nature speaks to me very strongly, um, there is like a conversation, or in the a beauty that I contemplate, in the nature, in the movement of water, in the light. Um, this is somehow also speaking the truths of my heart, and I don't need to invent something completely random or new or abstract for this. So
That that makes sense because you capture just a moment, and then you put your heart and soul in to capture this moment. It's
yes,
not like, and it takes more work than just make a photo or video. It's much more because you have to choose the colors. You
yes.
have to make, yeah. I'm not good in painting, but this is what I imagine that
No, it's true. It's true.
if you
It's really like
if
that.
you
Yeah.
if you I have to tell that story. I went to a painting class once
Mm-hmm.
on a in Denver actually, and I never felt that I'm a good painter. My father was a good painter, but he was not. This was just a hobby for him.
Mm-hmm.
But in that class, I did one picture on a, and that was actually pretty good. I was surprised, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not my thing.
Yes, it's okay. I don't think it has to be the thing of everyone. Um, no, but yes, it's true, and I think I do have a very personal idea that beauty is in a way something objective, and I think there is a beauty in nature that is there, and I don't need to do something very strange to make it up. Beauty already exists, and to me, it talks about what is true and good as well. So I I don't think as an artist I need to make up very strange things to convey this sense of beauty that is already so present in the world.
So that's your style, I understand. But let's say you are now in Vienna, is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you would go out and see something
Mm-hmm.
in Vienna. Let's say what's the famous thing in Vienna, the ferry, and then you would paint that if you feel in the moment to do this.
Yes, actually, how I work is a bit particular because I am usually always doing something, and sometimes it might be a, a commissioned work or something else. And then I am walking in the street and something really moves me. So, what I usually do is I try to capture that moment with a photograph at least.
Okay.
And when I have time or when the time is right, I come back to that memory and I do a painting out of it. And usually it's not just about the picture that I have made, but I tend to remember what I felt in that moment, how I felt, and what that landscape told to me, so I can produce some artwork. Yeah.
I mean, this is also when I make photos that I actually remember most of the time what I felt and why I did this, right?
Mhm.
Or why I did exactly this photo.
Exactly. Yes, because these are things that are very um, emotionally linked to you as a person and to what I call the heart. So I don't think these are things that one forgets so easily, fortunately.
Right. So maybe you can talk about where the people can find you. So I looked at your website. So you have a website under your name. Maybe you could mention it now, the full name of your website. So we have that.
Yes, of course, it's Gabriela Rubio finearts.com.
Okay. And I will put that in the description. You have also other social media channels.
Yes, I have Instagram. You can find me under Gabriela Rubio Domingo.
Okay. And you using anything else other than Instagram? Not now.
Not yet, no. I am considering opening other social media, but so far this is what I have. Yeah.
And then is the question what you are considering, something like Pinterest or this other, or
Yes, definitely. The thing is that right now I have 9 commission works that I still have to complete. For
wow.
yes, for this semester, plus 2 out of the 10 that I received last semester that I still need to do. So I have a lot to work on that is um, not urgent, but almost. And I
Okay,
I want to focus on that, and hopefully, if I find the time, I will work on the social media marketing as well. Yeah.
right. So you mentioned semester. You studying something right now?
No,
Or?
but I like to think like that. It's
Okay.
a default
Okay.
a default setting from the studies, but yeah, a way of organizing my mind. Yes.
Okay, so we covered that. And another thing, so you in Vienna, are you speaking also German or do you can work only with English there?
No, well, I work in English, but mainly, but I speak German, and I speak in German normally in my day to day, and in my work I occasionally use it as well. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a question. If someone comes to Vienna, they have to still speak German, right?
It's highly recommendable. Yes, I think it's very useful to integrate in the city, to feel at home. Um, Socially, it opened many doors. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk coming to the end. I mean, because you're in Vienna and you was also in Madrid because we met there. How you compare
Yes.
the both cities? How you compare the both cities? Both are capitals.
Hmm.
So how you compare them? I mean, Vienna has also a very nice art scene. I mean, that's like
It's true.
traditional.
Yeah, I think from the artistic perspective, both cities are extremely interesting, and I think what they offer is very different. I think when I think of Madrid, the first that comes to my mind is El Museo del Prado, uh,
Yes.
and I think there you can find some of the most wonderful masterworks that well really took my heart. And I well for me it's pretty amazing what is in there, and also there are many other very good museums, palaces, uh, exhibitions. I think the artistic life in Madrid is very lively, and I think it's a very vibrant city. uh, and yeah, I think it has a lot to offer to an artist in terms of opportunities, inspiration, historical richness. And I think Vienna has partly also that. So it's a city with um, an amazing patrimony. The Museum of Fine Arts here is also extremely beautiful, plus also other very good museums such as Belvedere, Albertina. You have many great exhibitions on a regular basis, and I bet it's also not a bad place for uh, artists nowadays. I think there are also some opportunities here, and especially what I think it's interesting in Vienna is that the economic situation is a bit better than in Madrid, and
Okay.
that makes for a bit more of peace of mind for the artist and less pressure in terms of making for a living. But yes,
Yeah. But you actually get paid then for your commission work, right? I mean, that's
yes,
so
of
you
course,
get some money.
yes, of course,
Okay.
because I am in my beginnings. I am not asking for a lot right now. Um, but yes, I think it's good because I can pay for my materials and get a bit more. So
Right.
for the moment, this is fine. I hope in the future, uh, when I when I have a longer career and participate in more exhibitions, events, have a larger portfolio, and more recognition. I hope uh, well, it's much more than just covering the cost of the materials. But
I really hope for you. I mean, you're really passionate in this, and I mean, and then the it should.
yes, I hope so.
But again,
Not for another reason than I would like to work to make of this my main occupation, and for this I would need to earn a bit more. So that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we mentioned social media. You have Instagram and your website,
Mhm.
and yeah, cool.
Mhm.
So that's it. I mean, you have something else to say for the closing about, um, maybe you mentioned you have some commission work or you have some special project you want to do this year. So something for the closing that the people
Uh,
know.
yes.
One is
Well, I one project that I have in mind that is uh, a bit ambitious, but also extremely interesting to me, is making a poster for the Holy Week for my best friend's Instagram account. He's an influencer for cultural traditions in my hometown in Malaga, and
okay.
he has asked me to do this poster, and I really look forward to doing a good job there and producing something that is beautiful and with what uh, the people in my hometown can resonate with. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So looking forward to see this because
Yes.
I'm following your Instagram account and yeah.
Mhm.
So again, thanks for taking the time, and we had a nice conversation about the art. I love this,
Yes. Very nice.
I had and I had my experience where I met some other people, painters here in Madrid. So and I had also one in my podcast twice,
Mhm.
and he has now somehow an expedition in New York City. I'm waiting that he comes back and we do another one. So I'm just giving a
Amazing.
hints up.
Yes.
So then, thanks again, and yeah. So then, thanks, listeners, and looking for the next one. And you have to stop the stop button.
Okay, I will stop it right now.